What you can do is lock in the high guaranteed payouts today, and while you wait, the annuity company will guarantee increases to those payouts. I've seen in excess of 10, 11, 12% every year until you're ready to retire. Wow, that's amazing. That's kind of like the discussion we've had around Social Security, right? Hey folks, Colin Richards here once again on the Lord and Richards Show. And in this segment of our show, we're talking about key questions that retirees are asking or pre-retirees. Do I have enough to retire is one of the top questions. And that is a really big one because it really floats down into a lot of different areas. And in this particular segment, we're going to expand on our budgeting discussion that we've already had in a previous segment and talk about the ways that you can plan for and protect yourself against inflation in retirement. You know, we've grown very passive when it comes to inflation because of the Fed's efforts to keep inflation low. The Fed has a target of about 2% inflation, and at that level, they feel like the economy can hum right along. Growth is measurable and sustainable. When we get below that or when we get above that, they get nervous and they start messing with rates. And we all know that the government really messed up. Whether the intentions were good or not, the government overheated our economy following COVID in an effort to really get things moving, threw too much coal into that engine and got the train off the tracks. And so what they've had to do ever since is raise rates to try to get inflation back down. But for a new generation of investors who haven't experienced that, like those of you who lived through the late 70s, early 80s, this was a shock to the system. Wow, look at the price of everything. Whether it's milk and eggs or fuel or buying a new car or a TV, everything shot up. And employers were shocked, sticker shock at the price that it was going to take to hire great people into their company. This is tough. And when inflation gets up close to double digits or above them, we really begin to feel that pain in the economy. Well, what if this happens again? The government's been raising rates to combat inflation, and it's been working, although you may have particular areas in your life where you're still vulnerable because prices didn't come back down. Right? Just because inflation is lower doesn't mean those prices went back to the way they were. It just means now we're at a new normal and we're not expanding inflation at the same rate anymore. And so as we get used to these tools that the Fed deploys, then we've got to understand how to prepare in advance for inflation. Now, some of you will talk to experts and they'll say, oh, that's easy. You just buy Treasury inflation-protected securities. Okay, these are government-issued bonds that are linked to inflation. No problem, right? So when inflation goes up, your return, your interest rate on that government-issued safe, secure bond is going to be great. Well, here's the problem. Okay, during periods when inflation is not high, we're talking minimal returns, 2, maybe 3% or less. And so you really cannot sustain long-term with those kinds of tools in your portfolio. As fascinating as it is that the government developed these to help with this issue, they are not a panacea. They're not going to resolve the problem because the underlying rate of growth is too small when we're not experiencing high inflation. So I'd like to suggest some better alternatives. Now, some of you are familiar with the benefits and the power of using annuities as income. We've talked about this in other segments, so I won't go to great lengths, but I will remind you, number one, all annuities are not created equal, right? Some of you may have heard about high fees. Well, you can elect to have no or low fee annuities. Not all annuities lose money. Some do. Variable annuities can lose money in down markets. Fixed annuities don't. And so set aside your preconceptions about the use of annuities because economists, some of the best minds in the retirement planning and financial planning world, professors at Wharton, professors at the American College have told us, look, folks, get over your aversion because annuities that have income guarantees will really help you to get your retirement egg covered, your retirement nut covered, and cover those expenses. Guaranteed. So why have all these lacks of guarantee? You say, well, are the payouts so low that it'd be better for me to invest? Actually, annuities allow you to take a greater percentage of your principal than any other tool on earth, sometimes as high as or greater than 7%. Well, folks, the normal rule is about 4% or less. In addition, you can select annuities that have rising income that are linked to some type of external measure that allows that annuity's income payout to rise over the years as potentially your costs rise. That's one potential solution. Now, the thing to remember is the payouts will be lower at first, right? Because they're designed to rise over time. I find most of the time it's best to just lay in a ladder of annuities that turn on at different times in your life to take advantage of maximum guaranteed income payouts. They're substantial right now. Today, as I record this, annuity income payouts are the highest I've ever seen in my career, and the rates are the highest I've ever seen in my career. And even some folks who are already in annuities should be looking at the possibility, hey, can I significantly upgrade what I'm in, whether it's variable, fixed indexed, or anything in between? Right now is the time to lock in the highest income payouts in a long, long, long time. Now you say, well, Colin, I'm not ready for an annuity because I'm not yet retired. I'm looking ahead. I'm younger. Isn't that something you do at the moment of retirement? Actually, you don't have to do that. What you can do is lock in the high guaranteed payouts today. And while you wait, the annuity company will guarantee increases to those payouts. I've seen in excess of 10, 11, 12% every year until you're ready to retire. Wow, that's amazing. That's kind of like the discussion we've had around Social Security, right? Each year that I wait past my full retirement age, I get a guaranteed 8% simple interest bump up. Where else can we get returns like that? Well, where else can we get 10, 11, 12% bump ups in the size of our income while we're waiting to retire? So some phenomenal opportunities. My suggestion is find a way to lock in the highest payouts in years right now, because interest rates are going to be going down from here. We thought they were going to go down in March, but they didn't because of some well-oiled machines going on in the economy that the government's trying to suppress a little bit, try to reduce that inflation. Again, in June, probably not likely. But we know that's the next step. We don't know when it'll occur. So it's imminent, meaning it could happen at any time, not just around the corner. It could be months down the road. But what I want you to do is seize upon this window of opportunity while we have it, whether you're in an existing product, whether you're in traditional investments. A part of your dollars should probably go into this strategy so that you can build a ladder, you can build an increasing income stream throughout retirement to make sure you never run out of money before you run out of life. And that's the name of the game in retirement. So folks, it's just going to start with a simple conversation. We call it a financial independence review between you and our team. And we love doing this. We're talking to people just like you every single day to help you develop a plan for retirement and for financial independence. It just starts with a simple phone call.